it's not how good your art is. Like, your art will never be good enough if all you're thinking about is how it isn't good enough. Hello everyone, it is Sam, and we're doing a little throwback video today. Does anyone remember old school YouTube where we just talked on top of a time-lapse artwork? Just me? Okay, well, anyway, today just a quick introduce the artwork. I'm doing a charcoal fox. You can see the completed artwork in the top right corner, and I've just covered up my zoomy face in the top left corner. This was from a live stream forever ago. So if you'd like art tutorials and stuff like that, you can check out my Ko-fi shop. But for here, we are chatting today, and we're going to be rambling, and there's no script. It's all off script, off the cuff. And I wanted to talk about negativity and how we perceive ourselves in art criticism and self-criticism when it comes to art stuff. So I've had this topic, I've talked about this topic many times before, and I've had it come up in my mind many times before, but it came up again recently because someone I know sent me a video of PewDiePie, and you know, if anyone knows who PewDiePie is, of him doing an art challenge where he was drawing every day for 100 days, I think it was. And it was very interesting and cute to watch that video because I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but just like seeing someone at the start of their journey, at the start of learning artwork and of experimenting and trying things and growing and just being passionate, like I love that. I love seeing that. And so it was a really cute video to watch, and you can really feel the passion that he has for art and drawing, and I love that. I love that for him. Super excited. But I also noticed something interesting when I was watching his video, and like, I know I'm super topical right now, but everyone's pretty much already talked about this video. But if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description. But something I thought was interesting was that on several of the days that he really was frustrated and struggled, that he would scribble over those artworks. And I totally get that. I have been there. I've done that. If you look at some of my older sketchbooks, when I was a kid, there were definitely times where I was like, I am so ashamed. I cannot let anyone see these failures. They cannot know. I am too embarrassed. So I scribbled over them in frustration. And yeah, so I had mixed feelings when I saw that because, like, you know, on the one hand, I totally understand and empathize with that. The frustration is real. And, you know, as passionate as all of us are about art, there are times when you just want to stab the page. Take out your pencil, sharpen it, and just stab the ever-loving crap out of your sketchbook. And so I definitely empathize with that. And there's definitely a history that you can see there when you flip through these pages and you see that frustration expressed on the paper. And that's interesting to me. But I think what's a little sad with it, though, is that there's also simultaneously like a history lost with scribbling over the artwork, because now the original artwork in the state that it was can no longer be seen. It's gone forever. And, you know, same with tearing up an artwork or like destroying it in some other way. And there's definitely, you know, a form of expression there. I'm not trying to judge that or say it's wrong. I'm just saying I have mixed feelings about it. And it kind of brings me back to this topic of, you know, self-criticism and self-judgment and, you know, letting these thoughts sort of cloud us. And I mentioned on social media recently of just, you know, when we were children, and I mean like young, you know, you have crayons and you scribble all over the walls and you're drawing and making stuff and being creative with reckless abandon. You're just like, I like this color blue, so I'm going to put this blue everywhere. You know, like the sun doesn't need to be, you know, yellow or red. I'm going to make it purple, you know, who cares? And there was just this complete freedom, I feel like, that happens, or that happens when, you know, you're really little and you don't think about other people. You don't think about what's real or what's not real or what you should or what you shouldn't do. You just sort of do, you know? And I think that's a really great thing with art because, you know, there are things in art that you could argue are like math or like science or physics or whatever, and say, well, there is a precise way to get a precise thing if you want a precise result. But also, you know, 1 + 1 can equal fish, and that's fine too. Like, art has rules, but also it doesn't have rules. And I think that's what makes art really fun and open for everyone. Like, I'm of the belief that everyone can be an artist if they want to, and that everyone can draw. So for me, I have that excitement and, that desire for people to experience that excitement and passion and everything. And I think that, you reach a certain age, psychologically, where you start to become more aware of people around you. You're like, oh shit, I'm not the only person on the planet. Like, there are other people here and they have their own thoughts and opinions. Oh no. So I think as you get older, it's not like we teach this stuff that great either. We don't, really educate so much about psychology and being aware that, other people may have opinions, but, you don't need to have it affect you. You don't need to have it matter, and you can still just do whatever you want with your art, and, who cares? But so you grow up, you get older, you start to become aware that like other people will judge you in your art, and so you start to feel self-conscious. You want to make things that people will be impressed by rather than things that you necessarily enjoy. And when having conversations about this topic on social media with other people, I definitely got the vibe that I'm not the only one that feels this. And back in DeviantArt days, if anyone remembers those, we definitely had that sort of self-punishment thing going around too, where it was encouraged to be ashamed of your art. It was encouraged to hate your art and to not accept compliments. I remember just seeing that and seeing it everywhere, that I felt like, oh, this is just the attitude to have. And so I started emulating that. And it takes a toll on you. I mean, I've talked about this before, that it still takes me years to sort of undo that damage and really get back into just art, like just not anything specific, but just whatever. And yeah, I know people have brought up money and how money can impact things, and how like instead of just making art that you're passionate about, now you have to consider, oh, if I want to make a job out of this needs to be marketable. This needs to be something that would attract clients and get sales and all that fun capitalism stuff that we all have to deal with. We live in a society. And I definitely agree with that. I do think that's a factor. I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. I think like there's this pressure of, not doing things out of joy, but because you have to do the grind, and that it can become toxic, that like not just to ourselves but to other artists, we start seeing them as competition. We start being extra judgy on them, like, oh, their art isn't as good as mine, why is mine not getting that much attention? Like we start to be kind of douchey about it. And social media hasn't helped either, with a desire for likes and shares, and that sort of making up our own self-image. What's the word I'm looking for here? Like your self-confidence and self-worth, that's the word I wanted. Self-worth is like hinging on how many likes did I get today on this artwork I posted? Oh my god, I only got like 2. Oh, I'm such a terrible person. Like there's so much that just weighs on you now, that adds this pressure, all these factors sort of combining together. And I know that like PewDiePie is not really maybe the perfect example. I've never talked to him. I don't know the guy. I don't even watch his videos. I don't know anything about him. But like, no doubt, as a YouTuber, he's gone through the same shit that I have, of like, you're looking at the statistics and you're trying to figure out the algorithm and all that stuff. And it's, I'm not going to lie and say that I've definitely struggled with my mental health in regards to like my own self-worth and what I do here on YouTube. And I've changed a lot with what I've done for videos because of that, because like I don't want to go down that rabbit hole of just misery and I want to just enjoy things. So that's, in part of why I'm just doing this random rambly video instead of like, I don't know, here's a studio tour or something. I don't know what the kids these days are doing for art videos, but I haven't kept up in forever. But yeah, point being, just, a lot of this toxic mindset can make it really difficult, I think, nowadays for people to do art in the way that we used to do as children, where we would just do whatever and just loved it because, we made it. And, not Susie down the street or whatever, I made that thing, Susie's doing her own thing. Okay, good for her. We stan. All right. But like, I want to celebrate my stuff too. And I think like trying to explore that has been an interesting new battle, I guess. I can't think of another word, because it's almost like you're fighting yourself to love yourself. Does that make sense? Because like the milestones that we reach and the goals that we have, and uh you know, all these things, like they will change and they will move, and like that goalpost of like, oh, if I make it here, if my art is at this level, I will be satisfied, I will be happy. And then you make it there, but by the time you make it there, it's like you've already moved the goalpost, you've already looked further, and you were like, oh no, it's actually over there. So there's no like celebration of victory, I feel like, as much. And like when you draw something as a kid, you're like immediately, I want to show mom, like I want to show dad, like, you know, come look at this thing I drew, isn't it so cool? Like, we're always going to be excited to share, I feel like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like we miss out on this excitement in ourselves because we're so focused on the future. We're not like, we finished this artwork, okay, next one, I need to do better, I need to do better. It's like, okay, but you did a good job on this last one, like, you know? So I feel like it's not how good your art is. Like, your art will never be good enough if all you're thinking about is how it isn't good enough, if that makes sense. Like, your art just is what it is, and it will be what it will be. And it's your mindset that sort of makes your art good or not. Because your art is amazing right now, and whether or not you want to improve, whether or not you want to take a different path, whatever your goals are, whatever, like, that can all change, but your mindset is just like the thing that sort of makes it what it is. Does that make sense? Is this what happens when I don't script? But yeah, see, I'm being self-conscious right now about this YouTube video. Bad Sam. But yeah, so I feel like I want to talk more about this stuff. I want to encourage artists to take a step back and be like, hey, where am I right now even? What am I doing? Like, look at artwork that you made today or yesterday or a month ago or whatever, and be like, let me just sit with this for a little bit. Like, just take your artwork out. Like, if it's digital, open up the file, or if it's traditional, like pull it out or whatever, and just sit with it for a little bit. And I feel like really absorbing it and just living with it and just accepting it and be like, I did this. Like, no matter how good or whatever you think it is, just put that aside for a second and just like sit with this feeling of that you are an artist, that you are creative, that you are able to make these things, and that you love it. And I feel like if we focus more on the fact that our passion is with creating, then like the results of those creations, I feel like then, I don't know, I want us to go in a more positive direction just as a community, as artists. And I feel like it's made a big difference for me to do things like crafting and junk journaling. If you don't know what junk journaling is, I'll put a link in the description to my favorite channel for making junk journals, because she's amazing and very inspiring. And I just love that she can make such beautiful things, but also such silly things, and just she's loves it all. And it makes me like want to doodle and play around and just make whatever just because it's fun, right? Not because I'm trying to be the next Picasso, right? Like I want to make stuff, and I want to be happy making stuff. And I don't like that so many of us end up sitting with that misery because we're so focused on likes, we're so focused on monetizing, we're so focused on what other people think. And I think we're losing track about that inner child of ours that just always wanted to make art just for the sake of making art because it's fun. And yeah, I think that's basically the gist. So yeah, I've been thinking about it quite a bit since I've seen PewDiePie's video. So again, I'll link his video in the description if you want to see it. I hope he continues on his art journey. I hope he becomes more forgiving of the process. I know that there's going to be frustrations regardless. There's going to be times where just it comes up and something's just not working, and I don't want to dismiss that. I don't want to say that it's wrong, but I also want to say to not get stuck in that and not get trapped and, you know, get blocked or that. I want us to find joy in things, you know, spark joy, you know, art sparks joy. So I want to keep it around, right? But yeah, so if you have any sort of experience or thoughts or suggestions, opinions, advice, that sort of stuff, definitely leave a comment. Let's have a conversation. I would love to hear y'all's thoughts because it's been very interesting reading the responses to the posts that I've been making about it lately and just reading everybody's stories, and just sometimes we need this reminder, you know, that like it's okay. You're okay. What you do is amazing just because you're doing it. And I don't know, I want to remind people of that. I want to remind myself of that. And anyway, so now that this video has basically come to a conclusion, definitely let me know your thoughts. And that's it. I hope you've been well. I know I haven't made a video in a hot second. I'd like to maybe do some more talky videos like this. We'll see. It depends on my mood. And yo, we got, I think, a helicopter going by. That's not an airplane. That's different. Ooh, spicy. But yeah, so thanks so much for watching, and have an awesome rest of your day. Bye-bye.